FlossTube, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. I'm back for my 2018 review and WIP parade. Thank you for joining me again. Just a quick rundown of 2018. I started with 18 WIPs. I had 26 new starts, finished 15, and I'm left with 29 WIPs going forward. So that's an increase of 11 WIPs over the last year. I was kind of in the mood that I was just going to start whatever I felt like. I didn't have any, I don't want to have too many WIPs, but I don't really mind having them on the go either. There are several that I started quite a few years ago that I no longer enjoy, and I'm not going to make myself go back and stitch those when I'm not enjoying stitching on them. There are several also that I really do love, but I never even got to stitch on this year, just because of timing. So I'm going to hopefully try and change that for this coming year. I only finished, of the 15 that I finished, and that's including all leaflets. So for example, for the Prairie Schooler alphabet, there's 3 blocks in each leaflet, and I've counted every leaflet that I've finished as a finish, so that includes those. But of the 15 that I finished, I only had 2 from previous years, and I think both of those were from the year from 2017, so not that long ago. I'm hoping to change that again this year, but again, if I'm not enjoying something, I'm not gonna force myself to work on it. The number of FFOs I managed was 6. I finished 7 full coverage pages. Not all of those were full pages, but I'm still pretty happy with that. I didn't meet all my goals, and I'll go through that a little bit as I go through all the WIPs. I read 20 books. I went through a phase where I was reading a new book every week. I was really enjoying reading, and then I kind of crashed and burned, and I haven't read a book for a while. I'm just not in the mood anymore. So my reading bug is kind of coming and going at the moment. I suspect it's because I just want to stitch, and that's all I want to do. So that's perfectly fine. I don't mind. I don't have any reading goals or anything like that. I'm sorry if you watch my video for the reading recommendations, but at the moment I'm just not in the mood. I do have a couple of books that I'm looking forward to reading, but I just can't seem to find the time. So hopefully this year I'll have some more time to do that. Okay, so let's get started. What I'm going to do is go through the WIPs. I have 29, as I mentioned, so I've split them into I've split them into roughly 3 equal groups. They're not equal, but they're roughly equal. And if I have a picture of what they look like at the end of 2017, I'm going to insert that as well. But a lot of them are new starts. So the first ones are intended finishes. So all the ones I'm going to show you now, my plan is to finish them this year. So the first one is Adventure Awaits by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I started this midway through 2018 when Sally, the designer of Caterpillar Cross Stitch, sent me the kit. That was so nice of her. If I'm honest, I was a bit apprehensive about doing it because it was described as a beginner stitch, and although I don't think I'm an expert, I've been stitching for 20 years, so to me beginner would be kind of cartoonish and not really my style. But when I started seeing all the parts come out, I did really like what I saw. I haven't quite kept up with it, but I am hoping to finish it this year. And it's a really nice travel project because she did send me the whole kit. I've got everything all in one place and I can just pick it up and go. So here's what it looks like now. I think that's parts 1 and 2. I've got Europe and Asia, or most of Asia there. So I'm hoping to pick this up again soon. And like I said, it's a nice travel project. I can just pick it up and go. It's got everything in it that I need. I just have to add scissors. So, and the chart is on my iPad, so it's really easy. And I love the colors. I love the way it's going to look. So that's a really good one. I'm just going to tick off as I go so I don't forget any. Next one is Faithful Friends Stocking by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is artwork by Donna Gelsinger. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like at the start of 2018. And here it is now. So my goal for this one was to finish up to there. So like that. So I met that goal and I did an extra page on that. Now this one still has another page here and then another page here because it's in the form of a stocking. So there'll be a little bit of a foot here. And then there'll be 3 very small pages underneath. So my goal is to finish that one this year. So there it is there. Next one is Heart by Create Handmade. This one was given to my daughter as a birthday present when she turned 4 earlier this year. Her mum and I are both quite crafty, but her mum doesn't cross stitch. I think she's done one cross stitch in the past, but she just said to me it took her a long time and it was quite basic. Those were her words. But I'm really enjoying this. My daughter has tried to stitch it a little bit, but she really doesn't have the patience yet, and also the dexterity, I don't think. She tries to pull the thread through. I put the needle in the right place, but she pulls the needle through and then keeps going and takes the needle off the thread. So I have to keep rethreading it after every stitch. So what she'll do is come up to me and say, can you stitch some more on this one, mummy? So that's what I've been doing. I'm hoping to finish it this year. Here's where it is at the moment. I think it's that way. So I do enjoy it when I'm sitting in front of the TV. It's nice to have something to pick up like this. And again, it's a kit, so it makes a good travel project. So yeah, I'm hoping to finish that one this year as well. Next one is one that I started at the start of 2018. It is Jane Austen at the Christmas Ball by Brooks Books Publishing. And it's on several bits of perforated paper. So this is the first bit that's actually finished. That piece of perforated paper is actually finished. This is the second piece. It's going to be really hard to see because it's gold on gold, but that's part of her wing. There's several bits left to do, and my goal is to finish at least the stitching on that. When you finish the stitching for this one, there's quite a lot of gluing and cutting and curling of ribbon and that kind of thing to finish it off completely. So I'm not sure whether I'll get to that, but I do want to finish stitching it by the end of this year. And that was my goal for last year, but it didn't quite happen. So hopefully I'll get to it this year. So that's the first 3, I believe. Sorry, first 4. Next one is the Prairie Schooler Alphabet by the Prairie Schooler. I'm stitching this on 3 different pieces of fabric on 28 count 1/1 Lugana. Sorry, 28 count Lugana, stitching 1/1. So the first panel is done. That's A to I. Yep, A to I is done there. And I'm halfway through the second panel. J to ampersand. So the next block here will be the N. I think it's N for nest. And my goal is to finish this by the end of the year. To finish the whole lot, all 26 letters. Number 6 is Story Keep Secret Door by Heaven and Earth Designs. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. Here's what it looked like at the end of 2017. And here's what it looks like now. And this one, that's how wide it is. It's not going to get any wider than that. So that's pages 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've started on page 5, got page 6, and then page 7 and 8 are half pages. The pages on this side are quite narrow as well. They're only about half a page. So there'll be a full page here, half a page there, half a page here, and then a quarter of a page here. So not too much longer to go, but I'm hoping to finish that one. And that one is being stitched on 25 count Lugana 1/1. All my full coverage pieces are on 25 count Lugana 1/1 with the exception of one, which I'll show you later. Number 7 is Strawberry Fields Forever by Blackbird's Designs. That's what it will look like when it's finished. This was a new start this year and I love stitching on it. I really enjoyed it. And here's what it will look like. Here's what it looks like at the moment. And I'm really looking forward to getting back to this one and finishing it off. And that one is just stitched on 2/2 28 count Lugana. It was white, but I tea-dyed it. And then last in this section, but not least, is Weatherwise by the Prairie Schooler. It is out of print. I'm stitching on this top block here, so that one. It said, red sky at night, sailors delight, red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. And this was a new start. I started November, and that's what I've done so far, and I'm hoping to finish that sooner rather than later. So hopefully first couple of months of the year. So that's it there for part 1. I'm going to tidy all these up and I'll be back for part 2. Welcome back to part 2. So this part is where I haven't met the goals that I set for myself last year mainly, but also includes ones that I haven't actually worked on at all. Some of these I really want to get back to, others I never want to see again in my life, but I'll go through them as we go. So the first one is Alpine Seasons Garden by Chatelaine, and it will look like that when it's finished. And I'm stitching this on 28 count casual linen on Spice Blend Fern Gully by Stitches and Spice. They were a fabric dyer here in Australia. They're no longer trading, unfortunately. But here's what I've done so far on this piece. I started this a couple of years ago, and my goal for last year was to finish the middle section. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do that. So that's where it is now, and I'm really looking forward to working on this one again. I'm hoping to spend at least a week on it this year and hopefully finish that middle section so that I can move on to the specialty stitches, which is why I really want to work on this one. So yeah, that's that one. Next one is one that you're probably all sick of seeing, Boy King by Janlin. Sorry about that glare. I started years ago. I think it's probably the one that I started cross stitching with. So a lot of it is done already. I only have a little bit left to go. I'm sure a lot of people are just saying, just finish it already, you don't have that much left. But I hate working on it. The metallic thread is horrible to work with, but I think the real problem is that you also have to blend the metallic thread with DMC or with some sort of cotton. I don't think it is DMC. And that just makes it that much harder. So I really don't enjoy working on this one, but it is one I'd like to have finished. I do want to finish it, but obviously to finish it I need to spend time on it. So that's my dilemma right there. So yeah, I'm not going to put any goals on myself for that one because I really don't enjoy working on it. So I want to enjoy my stitching this year. So that's that one. Number 3 is Mini Cinderella on the Stairs by Heaven and Earth Designs. I will insert a picture here of what it will look like when it's finished. I'm stitching this one on 18 count Aida 2/1. It's the only full coverage piece I'm doing on 18 count. I started this a couple of years ago and that I didn't work on it at all in 2018. I think that's only 2 pages, it might be 3 pages. My goal was to finish the top row. I think that's 5 pages. So hopefully I'll get to that this year. I would like to spend a little bit of time on it this year. At least finish 1 page. But we'll see how we go on that one. So that's Cinderella on the Stairs. Next one is Dreaming of Tuscany by Gold Collection Petites Dimensions. It will look like this when it's finished. This is one that I really hate. It's one of my oldest pieces and I no longer enjoy working on it. It's a mess. It's again one of my older pieces, so when I was working on it I wasn't that good at stitching. Not that I'm that good at stitching now, but I like to think I'm a little bit neater than I was. The back is an absolute pigsty. But yeah, it is a pretty design. It's just one that I'm not really keen on. I don't really enjoy working on. So maybe my mood will change. I don't know. I doubt it somehow. But that's where that is at the moment. Next one is Fantasy Triptych by Teresa Wensler. Here's a picture of what this will look like when it's finished. And this is another one where I didn't get to work on it at all in 2018. Not because I don't like it, just because it is a more difficult piece and I didn't really have the time. So that's where it is at the moment. This one is 28 count Lugana. I'm stitching it 2/2 except for the charted 1/1 bits, which I haven't got to yet. I still love this piece and I really would like to finish at least what's in that arch there. So hopefully I'd like to spend a little bit more time on it this year. So we'll see how that goes. Next one is Juliet by Children Crafts. This is one of my favorites. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. And here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here's where it is now. So I finished the top row. My goal was actually to finish both the top 2 rows, but I only managed to finish this row. Love this piece. So I really want to spend more time on it. I don't think I'll manage to finish the top 2 rows at this stage, just with everything else that I've got going on this year. But I would like to at least do 1 more page on this one. So that's that one. This is an out of print chart. Children Crafts are no longer selling it, unfortunately. Next one is Kingdom of Books. This is by a Russian designer. I can't quite remember the name. I think it might be Make My Own Hands or Make Your Own Hands or something like that. I can't read that. If you can, please let me know what that says, because I really would like to know. But anyway, that's what the finished design will look like. I really like this one, but I am a bit daunted by it. It's a huge piece of fabric, and I think I might be able to work on it a bit more when I get the scroll frames that I've ordered to come in. I did order a size that will fit this whole piece, so hopefully I'll get a chance to work on it. My goal for 2018 was to finish that first book. I obviously haven't done that yet. I did work a little bit on it, but not quite enough. This is going to be a hell of a lot of work. It is a really huge piece. And every time I look at it, I get more and more daunted by how much work's left to go on it. But hopefully I'll get to spend a bit of time on it this year. Even if I just spend a week on it, I'll be quite happy with that. So we'll see how we go. Next one, I don't know what the name of this one is, but I call it Mediterranean Avenue by that designer there. I can't pronounce that, so I won't even try. But there it is there. This one I started many years ago as well. I didn't get to work on it at all this year. But that is the top left-hand corner. My goal for this one was just to finish the sky last year, and I didn't even get to do that. So just this bit there. So hopefully I'll get to spend a little bit of time on it this year. Next one is Pinocchio Wishes Upon a Star by MCG Textiles. This is another one that I didn't get to work on at all this year. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. Sorry about that glare. Again, this I'm using the fabric that came with the kit. So that's all I've managed on that one. My goal was to finish the first quarter, a quarter of this one. It's not going to happen. So that doesn't matter. I'll try and get a little bit of work on it this year, but we'll see. Next one is one that I really am keen to get back to. It's, sorry, I've got needle minders sticking together. This one is called The Six Wives of Henry VIII by The Primitive Hair. I love this piece. It's being stitched on Old Salem linen, which is what was recommended by The Primitive Hair, and I'm using all the called for threads as well. And so that's the first section, Catherine of Aragon. I think my goal was to finish Catherine of Aragon's block, which is just that bit there. So I'd really like to do that at least this year, but it's a lot bigger than I expected it to be, and so it takes a little bit more time. So hopefully I'll get to spend some more time on that. How many times have you heard that today? And last in this section is Victorian Charm by Dimensions. I don't hate this one. I don't love it, but I would like to finish it. I think the only thing slowing me down is the amount of backstitch on it. So I think my goal was to finish up to halfway. I'm not quite there yet, but it would be really nice to get some work on it again this year. So that's it there. That's the end of section 2 or part 2. I will put all this stuff away and I'll be back for part 3 shortly. Welcome back to part 3. This is Santa's Village and Pretty Ladies. I didn't have any other section to put Santa's Village in, so it's in amongst these. These are going to be in alphabetical order as well, and my goal for these is to spend about 2 weeks on each of them this year. So I'll get started. The first one is Andromeda, which I'm doing with Terry Lee Crafts. Hi Terry. It's a small piece, so it'd be really nice to get it done, but I don't think I'll manage. It's MD149, and it just says this design is inspired by the Greek myth of Andromeda. This one uses glow-in-the-dark chronic, which I haven't got to yet. I'm stitching it on Summer Sky Jobelin, 28 count, and that's all I've managed so far. It's going to be beautiful when it's done. I love it. It's a really pretty piece. Number 2 is Autumn Queen. I think this is my favourite of the seasonal queens. I don't like what it looks like there, but I love what it's coming out to look like. This is MD45. It's out of print. The back of it says, completing the series by Nora Corbett, Autumn Queen takes her place beside Winter Queen, Spring Queen and Summer Queen in a royal celebration of the seasons. Gowned in shades of mauve and teal and bedecked with a king's ransom worth of jewels, her sumptuous cloak is a whisper-edged wonder of olive, ebony and metallic bronze brocade. After all, isn't it customary for autumn to arrive in a blaze of glory? Now I am stitching this one on Rocket Queen by Colour Cascade Fabrics, 28 count Lugana. Well, it's a 28 count even weave. Some of these are on Lugana, some of these are on Monaco. So that's her there. Love this piece. Can't wait to get back to it. It does have whisper thread there. I didn't mind it so much. I just used short lengths. You can see it there. I think she's my favourite of all the seasonal queens. She's beautiful. I love her. So I'd like to spend another 2 weeks on her if possible this year. I don't think I'll finish. I'd like to finish these, but I don't think I will. But I am setting myself up to have all 4 seasonal queens finished within the same year, because I'm spending the same amount of time on each one throughout the year. So hopefully, who knows, I might have 4 Memorabilias finished in 1 year. In 1 year, some year, because it won't be this year. Okay, this is Enchanted Mermaid. This is the one that I'm stitching with Belinda from Knitch to Cross Stitch. We were a bunch of us who went to the Memorabilia retreat earlier this year, have this chart, and we all started in June with Belinda. I had Nora Corbett sign it, and I'm stitching this on an unusual fabric. It's a 28 count Opal Lugana. I think it's called Summer Sunset, and it was a silk weaver piece, and that's what she looks like now. That's about a week's worth of stitching, so it's not uncalled for to think that in 2 weeks I could manage to get at least all the stitching on the bottom half done, but there still is quite a lot there. I still haven't finished the torso, and then of course the tail, and I'm still a bit unsure about this section. You probably can't see that, but it is a chronic. It's not showing up very well on this fabric, so I'm thinking I might need to get a different shade. So there's some decisions to make on this one before I can kind of finish it off or pick it up again. But I would like to spend another 2 weeks on this one. Next one is Lady Memorabilia, which was a birthday start for me a couple of weeks ago. This was the 25th anniversary one that was released this year. It's MD158, and it just says, I am delighted to present to you a very special 25th anniversary pattern. That's that one, and it comes with a beautiful silver kind of filigree butterfly, which will go, sorry I don't have it with me, but it will go there. And this one is being stitched on a Colour Cascade fabric, 28 count Opal Lugana in Blue Orchid. That's that one there. Beautiful. Love this one. I loved working on it, and I can't wait to get back to it. The next one is Ladybird Fairy by Joan Elliott. That's what it will look like when it's finished. I started this one for Joan Elliott July, I think in 2017. So here's what it looked like at the start of this year. And here it is now. This fabric is 28 count Opal Lugana in Jaded by Colour Cascade Fabrics. And I think all I managed this year was the wings. I really would like to spend a couple of weeks more on this one this year sometime. Maybe get a bit more done, start on the dress. So yeah, really pretty piece, but I do prefer working on the Memorabilia pieces than Joan Elliott's. I'm not sure why. I think maybe Joan Elliott has a bit more backstitch and I really don't like backstitch. Next one is Santa's Village by Country Cottage Needleworks. This is 12 different charts that I'm putting all on one piece. As recommended by the, or not recommended, but it's a suggestion of how you stitch them. And that's the top row there. So I still have 2/3, I'm only a third of the way through, still have 2/3 to go. I decided when I was stitching this top candy cane stripe up here, I decided that I'm not going to do that for the next 2 rows. I'm just going to start stitching straight onto here without that candy stripe. It's very tedious and I don't want to do any more of it, so yeah. I think it'll still look fine without it. It probably will look better with it, but I don't think I'll ever get it done if I force myself to stitch more of that, because I really can't, really tedious. So that, yeah, that's that one. It'd be nice to get at least one more block done this year, but I don't know, depends. Maybe I'll go back to it in December or some other time during the year, I don't know. Next one is Spring Queen by Memorabilia, and that's that one, and it's MD34. This one is also out of print. It says, the long-awaited companion to Nora Corbett's Queen series, Memorabilia's Spring Queen takes elegance to a whole new realm. Her off-the-shoulder embroidered silk brocade gown is augmented with pink salmon and periwinkle to match her priceless tiara and spray of fairy flowers. Like spring, she came in her own good time, but was well worth the wait. If I had seen just that, I wouldn't have picked it up. But as usual, the stitched piece is absolutely stunning. I'm stitching mine on, this was a mystery fabric in October 2017 by Colour Cascade Fabrics. It's a 28 count even weave. I think it's a Lugana, and that's where she is at the moment. So I started her in autumn this year, which would have been March, I think. She's beautiful. And I'm looking forward to getting back to her as well. Summer Queen is, I don't have the envelope for this one, so I'll just show you the photo, front photo. That's what it will look like when it's finished. I'm stitching this one on Indian Sunset, I think. This is 28 count Monaco. I can feel that it's stiffer than the others, so it's definitely a Monaco. And that's what she looks like there. I started her in spring 2018, I think. So September last year. She's beautiful as well, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to this one. Villa Memorabilia is another one of my favourites. This one's out of print. I had been looking for this one for a long time, and I finally saw another lady stitch it on Facebook. She posted her finish, and she offered the chart to another lady, and I noticed that the other lady never responded. I wrote to her and I said, if you still want to give that chart away, I'd really like it, but I want to pay for it. She wouldn't let me pay for it, but I did send her a gift just to make up for it, because I was so appreciative. So this is Villa Memorabilia. It's out of print. It's MD38, so it's an early one. And at the back it says, taking the air at her countryside villa, a highborn lady spreads her sumptuous golden gown about her while surveying the weathered urns, sculptured topiaries, and rambling English roses of her meticulously tended garden. The Villa Memorabilia crest at her feet reflects her love of cross-stitch, but the crest name can easily be changed to that of another family's private estate, perhaps yours. So that's that one. And I started this at the start of this year, so I don't have an end of 2017 picture to show you. This one is being stitched on, what's the name? Oasis, I think, is this fabric. It is a fat half, so it's a huge piece of fabric. I've managed to finish the top arch. My goal for this one was to stitch that corner, but I never managed to get to it. I think the main reason is I've got the Velcro on this. My stand for this broke, and it's just too bulky to stitch this size on the Lowry stand, which I got to replace the old stand, until I bought the adapter, and I haven't pulled it out again since then. But yeah, she's beautiful. She will be when I get more work on it. Another one that I'd like to spend at least 2 weeks on this year, so we'll see how we go. Last but not least is Winter Queen. This is MD13. Doesn't have a blurb on the back. And this one I started on this fabric, which is a mystery, no, sorry, it was Fairies Wear Boots. It's on a Monaco. I'm just not sure about this fabric, which is why I've only got that much done. I'm not sure whether I'll keep it on this fabric or not. I am planning to pull this out again probably before winter and catch her up. I want to get down to at least the top of her dress, just so that she's caught up to all the other seasonal queens. Now, my plans originally were to stitch Mania to have mainly Memorabilia May, or mainly Memorabilia Mania. So I don't think I'll be starting any new ones, but I would like to, but I really don't think I should. But I can use that to kind of catch this one up, as well as put a bit more time into the ones that I don't really get to work on much. There is also a challenge in the Stitch Talk Hey Challenges group that is mainly taking part in May. So, but I've looked at it, and the amount of stitches, I think the maximum is about 280 stitches during 1 week. So I can probably do that in an evening. It wouldn't take me long at all. So I'm just going to stick to that. You're welcome to join me if you like. It's not my idea. I think someone came up with it last year and I copied them. I can't remember who it was, but please feel free to join in if you want to. So that's mainly Memorabilia Mania. So I want to catch this one up and spend a bit more time on the others. So when I met up with Belinda last week, feels like a long time ago, but it was only last week, I mentioned that I was stitching 6 Memorabilias. I actually have 8, so I lied to you, Belinda. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I miscounted. I forgot a couple, but yeah, I'm working on 8. So that's why I don't really want to start any more Memorabilias, because I would like to see some finishes, you know, before another 10 years or so. So that's it. That's my WIP parade for 2018. I didn't include the new start that I started yesterday on the 1st of January, but I just showed it to you in my previous video, so I don't think anyone needs to see it. But there it is. If I left out the name of a particular fabric that you really want me to tell you the name of, please let me know below. I know most of them, I just don't have them written in front of me, but I can easily look them up. If you have any other questions, any comments, I love reading your comments, so please leave them below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support during 2018 and all the previous years before that. I think I'm coming up to my 4th anniversary in February of doing FlossTube videos, so it's been an amazing journey. I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Take care and see you soon. Bye everyone.